I'm in the beef with my LeVar Arrington jersey, you feel me? Had to bring back the old one. Yeah, dig. Joe Theismann has passed the blessing. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico bringing y'all a Redskins report centered around Dwayne Haskins, the quarterbacks that came before him, and the future that will precede him. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Woo! Redskins pride and joy, Super Bowl 17 winner quarterback Joe Theismann has given Redskins first-round draft pick Dwayne Haskins permission to wear his number 7, which Dwayne Haskins wore in both high school and college at Ohio State when he threw for 50 touchdowns, 4,831 yards, only 8 interceptions, and with a 70% completion percentage in his first year starting as a sophomore. Also noteworthy is that Joe Theismann is the only quarterback in Redskins franchise history to wear the number 7. Haskins will be the second. But honestly though, permission? I love Joe Theismann, but permission? Maybe I'm tripping. But it is nice of him to go ahead and give Haskins the nod to carry the metaphorical torch of Super Bowl winning quarterback play. Also, I hope he gets some of that Michael Vick 7 in him too, cause shoot. So it's pretty much official though. Write it down. Dwayne will be wearing the number 7 while leading the Redskins to Super Bowl victories. Count it. And before I get into when he will or should start, I want to look at the history of the Redskins quarterback since we last won a Super Bowl in 1992. It's been pretty ugly, y'all. So buckle up. That 1991 Joe Gibbs Redskins that is considered the best NFL team of all time by many intelligent and trustworthy sports minds. And after that, it gets a little how have we fallen from grace since then? The NFL's best team ever, the 1991 Redskins, were led by Mark Rippon, uncle of new Broncos quarterback Brett Rippon, but most importantly to us, the winner of our last Super Bowl. The following season wasn't as beautiful, went 9-7 and lost in the divisional round of the playoffs, and then the next year, the Redskins had Mark Rippon start 10 games, Rich Gannon start 4, and Kerry Conklin start 2. And then this sent us into a bunch of seasons filled with more than just one starting quarterback, sadly. After the Mark Rippon era ended in 1994, the year I was born, we had Heath Schuler, John Friz, and Gus Frerotte all starting games that season. We finished 3-13, Super Bowl winning champs, to 3-13 in 2 years. 1995 had both Gus and Heath. 1996 only had Gus starting. In 1997, Gus shared starts with Jeff Hostelter, and then 1998 was the last season of Gus, with him only starting 2 games and Trent Green starting 14. Then comes the Brad Johnson era in 1999, who took us to the playoffs with a 10-6 record under Norv Turner, and then in 2000, Brad shared starts with Jeff George, and that was the end of the Brad Johnson era. In 2001, Jeff shared starts with Tony Banks. In 2002, we had Shane Matthews, Patrick Ramsey. Oh my, those Patrick Ramsey years were crazy and dark. They started them way too early, honestly. And Danny Werfel, all starting games. In 2003, we had Patrick Ramsey and Tim Hasselbeck sharing starts. And then in 2004, the Mark Brunell era. There were actually some pretty magical moments in this era. I'll never forget that Monday night Cowboys game in 2005, where we were down 13-0 with less than 5 minutes left. And then on 3rd and 27, with his back almost to the end zone, he scrambled so slowly for 25 yards and then converted the 4th and 2 with a throw into the flat. And then later on 4th and 15, he threw a bomb to the great Santana Moss for 7 points. Then with less than 3 minutes left, Brunell threw another bomb to Santana Moss to take a 14-13 lead, where our defense stepped up and kept the Cowboys from scoring again and winning the game. Legendary game. Joe Gibbs, but back to Brunell. In 2004, he shared starts with Patrick Ramsey. Then in 2005, he shared starts with Patrick Ramsey again and was able to take us to the playoffs with a 10-6 record. And then in 2006, we saw the final Mark Brunell season where he shared starts with and passed the QB turmoil torch to Jason Campbell. Jason Campbell, such high hopes. In his first season as the real starting quarterback, which was 2007, he shared starts with Todd Collins, and we actually made the playoffs with a 9-7 record. And then, with him starting all 16 games in both 2008 and 2009, we went from average to really bad, with his final season as the Redskins starting quarterback resulting in a 4-12 record. And then came the Donovan McNabb season with all of its turmoil and drama, along with Wes Grossman getting a few starts. 2010, we finished 6-10 and last in the NFC East. The Redskins really thought they was gonna do something that season too, man. That's what made it so bad. And then in 2011, we had Rex Grossman struggles, who shared some starts with John Beck. And then 2012, the RG3 Kirk Cousins era began. Perhaps the most entertaining era of all of them since 1991. Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins were both taken in the same draft, one way higher than the other, of course. RG3, with the occasional Kirk Cousins step in due to injury, led us to one of the most cherished seasons I've ever seen by the Redskins. We went into the Week 10 bye week 3-6. Kyle Shanahan motivated them to give this thing another try, and they finished the highlight-filled, nail-biting season on a 7-game win streak, never losing a game after the bye week, including an overtime win against the Super Bowl winning Ravens, in which RG3 caught his first real injury, and Kirk Cousins stepped in and led some clutch drives to win the game in Week 14. There were so many great moments from that season, and we were unstoppable. We were up 14-0 against the Seahawks in the wild card round, and then RG3 got hurt, non-contact too, the leg just gave out, and we never scored again, losing 14-24. Nobody can tell me that we wouldn't have at the very least made it to the Super Bowl. That read option with RG3 and Alfred Morris was unstoppable for that season, with defenses not having enough film and practice to stop it. But then RG3 was never the same, but he wasn't as bad as people made him out to be, and he never really had the right environment around him for him to succeed, in my opinion. But that's digressing into a whole nother debate. RG3, Kirk Cousins, and Colt McCoy then led us to some struggle seasons that did admittedly have some great moments. 2013 and 2014 just filled with drama and injuries, and then Kirk Cousins took over in 2015 and led us to a division-winning season, which took us to the playoffs where we got diddy-bopped by the Packers. And then Kirk started 2016 and 2017 all to himself, and with all of that franchise tag drama and all kinds of stuff going on. Are we gonna pay him? I'm glad we didn't, because we see what happens to teams that overpay for average quarterbacks, slightly above average quarterbacks if you want to give them that. Your best chance of winning Super Bowls is to have a great rookie quarterback on a rookie contract getting paid pennies. For example, Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff, where you have enough cap space to allocate resources and funds to the rest of the team. Bulk up the defense and pay for playmakers on offense. But the Kirk Cousins era ended as he went to the Vikings and got the whole bag. I mean the whole thing. Guaranteed money too. Woo. It wouldn't be me though. And then there's last season, the 2018 season. Alex Smith. We started off 6-3 with a 2-game lead over the rest of the NFC East. Then Alex Smith gets hurt, so we throw out Colt McCoy. Then he gets hurt after throwing a bunch of interceptions. So then we throw out Mark Sanchez, who plays terribly. He gets benched, and then we throw out Josh Johnson, and he gave us some hope, but ultimately lost some games, mostly because the team around him was already depleted at this point with injuries, most injured team in the league 2 years in a row. And he didn't have the luxury of having an offseason to prepare like Alex Smith and Colt McCoy. He was back at home chilling before the Redskins called him up. And he passed my expectations to an extent. But even with that, we decided to trade for Case Keenum, which was a smart move for how the Redskins finessed the contract. And he brings a veteran presence. Colt McCoy is still kind of hurt. Alex Smith is still super hurt and taking up a ridiculous amount of cap space for 2018 and 2019. Over $20 million each year. Sad, sad, sad. So what the Redskins do? Go and get their franchise quarterback from Ohio State on a rookie contract, Dwayne Haskins, who, as previously mentioned, is slated to wear the number 7. The Redskins also drafted some receivers, some offensive line, and an electric new running back. The Redskins also invested a lot of draft picks and offseason money to make sure the defense also gives Dwayne Haskins the best chance to succeed. Dwayne is slated to lead the team that, when healthy, will have a top 10, maybe top 5 offensive line, some underrated playmakers in the wide receiver group that will prove a lot of people wrong, the best running back group in the league when healthy, and a defense with a top 5 front 7, or arguably the best in the league, and a secondary that is pretty underrated. And most of the playmakers on both sides of the ball are young, so the Redskins are set up to succeed in the future too. But speaking of Dwayne Haskins leading this team, the great debate question, when will he? That's the big question coming out of this draft. It's a big debate going on within the Redskins organization and throughout the media among sports analysts and draft evaluators, and of course us fans who are all just geniuses. It's weird because on one side of the argument, he hasn't played much. It may be difficult for a quarterback with only 1 year of starting experience to perform well in the NFL early. He will only have 4 months to prepare for week 1 against a great Eagles defense, and it's in Philly. That's rough. The first 5 weeks are very rough, period. At Eagles, versus Cowboys and their great defense, versus the Bears and their top 3 defense, at the Giants, who still have a pretty good defense and may surprise some people, and at the Patriots, which is self-explanatory. Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks at home is ridiculous. He is 11-0, undefeated against rookie quarterbacks in New England. I say all of this to point out that the Redskins may throw out one of the veteran quarterbacks to handle that very rough beginning of a stretch of the season. But on the other side, he was drafted 15th overall and was arguably the best quarterback available in this entire draft to many smart draft analysts and football minds. And logically, with him being drafted so high, he's expected to start soon. Quarterbacks taken in the first round, especially in the first half of it, are expected to be ready to go right now type of quarterback, not projects. Reason 2, he is already good to really good at some of the hardest parts of mastering the quarterback position. Pre-snap reads, decision making, reading the entire field and properly progressing through his reads, not staring down receivers, throwing with a lot of anticipation and accuracy, throwing to windows where only the wide receiver has a chance to make the play, and also having the arm and accuracy to throw it to receivers while they are in full stride, full speed, so that they can maximize their yards after catch. And lastly, climb in the pocket while at the same time keeping his eyes downfield to make a throw, rather than just take off running and slide and give up. Number 3, the owner Daniel Snyder loves him. Random note, Dwayne Haskins knows the owner's son from high school, but also bringing in a franchise quarterback, and a black one at that, will definitely sell tickets in the DMV. And if there's one thing Daniel Snyder cares about more than winning, it's money. Number 4, the Redskins also drafted one of Dwayne Haskins' favorite and most dependable targets in Terry McLaurin. So Haskins won't be starting completely over on a new team. He has a dependable route runner and ridiculous work ethic target on the team that he already has rapport and chemistry with. Terry McLaurin is also exceptional at finding open spaces in the defense when plays break down and Haskins has to scramble and improvise, which can be a quarterback's best friend, honestly. Number 5, Case Keenum doesn't know the offense just as much as Haskins doesn't know the offense. They are both new to the team. Stop acting like Case Keenum comes in knowing the Jay Gruden offense off rip just because he's already played in the NFL. And then there's Alex Smith and Colt McCoy, who are both too hurt to be in the running really, unless Colt McCoy somehow recovers faster than it looks like he will. Also, Haskins has a great grasp of a lot of the concepts and plays that the Redskins run into Jay Gruden's offense, because many of the plays are very similar to the ones he ran at Ohio State. His transition from Ohio State's offense to Jay Gruden's and Kevin O'Connell's shouldn't be anywhere near as bumpy as many people think. Number 6, he proved people wrong at Ohio State already. He's used to proving people wrong. His first year starting, which was only his second year period in college, other than a redshirt year, he led the FBC in passing yards and touchdowns. He also had a 70% completion percentage with only 8 interceptions. So he wasn't just slinging the ball irresponsibly. So he beat expectations and hopes in his first year of ever starting in the collegiate level. And he did it in the Big Ten against great defenses, of which he killed when he faced them. He plays big in big moments, unlike Kirk Cousins, and I'm expecting Haskins to do the same at the NFL level. People never expected him to be that good in his first year at Ohio State. Why can't he prove people wrong again in his first year for the Redskins? The 7th and final point is he is highly motivated. There's not many people from this year's draft with a bigger chip on his shoulder than number 7. Not only is he clearly upset about being drafted so late after Daniel Jones, but he also has a healthy amount of pressure and expectation to win. especially in one of his hometowns. I can't wait for him to play his now rival, Daniel Jones, whether Daniel Jones knows it, wants it, deserves it or not. Playing in Maryland and New Jersey both mean a lot to him. And he's not about to go out sad in front of all of those people that he cares about the most. My boy Dwayne ain't going out like that. So seeing both sides of the argument, I want to know which side y'all are on. Option 1, he will start week 1. Option 2, he will start after week 1 but before the Patriots. Option 3, he will start after the Patriots but before the end of the 2018 season. Or number 4, he will start next year, 2020. I just want to get a feel for how the Redskins Nation feels about this. I have a Twitter poll, link in the description of the video. Please get in them comments and debate, but most importantly, hit up that Twitter poll so I can get a feel for how the Redskins Nation feels about Dwayne Haskins' starting potential. I will post the results in my next video for those of y'all who may be curious. I hope I get enough results to make this look legit too. Oh, and just my opinion, I feel like he will start week 1. I'm not extremely confident in it at all, but if I had to put money on it, I'd pick answer 1, week 1. But that's it for this off-season episode of Redskins Report. Thanks for the view. I'm going to keep bringing y'all updates on the Redskins year round. I'm going to bring y'all my film sessions on every player we drafted and maybe even some undrafted free agents as we get closer to the regular season, one by one. And I'm also going to bring y'all some Redskins reports, some debate topics like this, and of course some live streams. Make sure y'all get in them comments and let me know. How do y'all feel about Dwayne Haskins wearing the number 7? How do y'all feel about the Redskins' history of quarterbacks since our beautiful 1991 season? And will things be different with Dwayne Haskins? And lastly, when do you think he will get his first start? Also, make sure y'all Dolomite fake punch that like button, favorite, subscribe. Please subscribe. I will subscribe back. And most importantly, comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. And I know y'all like this new border I got going on with the stream, the new layout. Yeah, I don't even have to hear the compliments. I already know. Yeah, it's beautiful, professional. Yeah, I be getting them, man. Yeah, hail to the Redskins.